Hello and welcome to episode 1048 of The Sleeper and the Bust. It is Friday, May 6th. I'm your host, Paul Sporer, joined this morning by Justin Mason. Justin, up very early this morning. How you doing?
I'm feeling a little red right now.
Yeah, if you're watching live on YouTube, you see that he's got a new camera here that messes with the light off and then plays with the paint off the wall, which is orange, and
Hmm.
creating a red glow that makes you look like you're under like a fast food,
Yes,
warmer there. So
it's
we're warming you up.
people have said before it looks like that scene from Seinfeld with the
That's
orange light
exactly what
and
I was thinking.
streamers. Yeah.
That is 1 trillion% what I was thinking. So that's amazing. I want to mention out front today is our watch party for the Max
Yes.
Scherzer Kyle Gibson game. It'll be in our Discord. All you have to do is be a subscriber to our Patreon at any level, and you have access to the Discord. Char's going to be there. She was just letting you know that she is indeed going to be there. Okay, we get it, Char. You're going to be in the Discord. Gosh, relax. She's a big Kyle Gibson fan. She likes everything Justin likes, just to troll me. But that'll be today at 6 if you're listening to this on Friday, the day it comes out. But Justin, we got to dive right into it. We got a bit of news, one piece of news, and then we're going to play Keeper Cut with pitchers. And we've got some interesting decisions here about guys that might be cut that, were drafted with impact potential or at least impact expectation. But let's start with the big news. Jarren Duran is coming up for Boston, maybe in hopes to infuse their offense a little bit. That's been one part of Boston's team that hasn't been going well that I'm surprised by. Their pitching not going so well. I kind of expect that. I don't think that they have good pitching outside of a couple individual players, but they're 27th in WRC plus. So Duran is going to be called up. We tried this last year. It didn't go well, but it was very small sample. Are you going to be in on Jarren Duran? He's off to a pretty good start in AAA with 2 homers, 2 steals. And oh, wait, excuse me, that's last year's numbers. He has 1 homer, 7 steals, hitting 370 for a 179 WRC plus in AAA. 25-year-old Jarren Duran, are you interested?
Yeah, I mean, I think you should be just because of the stolen base potential. Probably more in deeper leagues. I do wonder like how much he's actually gonna play. Does he platoon? And there's also the obvious risk that we saw with him that he just can't hit
True.
at the
But
major league
JBJ
level.
has a 52 WRC plus.
Yeah, but they love JBJ. Like
I know, and I do too, but he is not good.
yeah.
He's just
Um,
not, and like I hate it, man, because I really do like him. He's a fun player. He's a great defender. He's had spikes of quality offense, but it's not there, man. He had a 35 last year. Like you add up his last 2 years, and he sucks. That's 88, like
yeah.
or 87, excuse me. But like, what are we doing? So I think he's got to play over JBJ pretty consistently. Duran does.
I mean, I think he should. Will he is the question.
Yeah. What are you
You know,
calling him up for if you're not going to play him?
I would think so. I would think you wouldn't want to stunt Duran's growth by making him a reserve player. So hopefully he comes up. Like we both said already, like he's got some real interesting speed potential. Like I don't think he's gonna hit for a ton of pop or anything. But if he can get on base, and he was like I said, hitting 370 in the minor leagues, yeah, potential to steal 20 plus bases rest of the way. So, and that has value in every format. I don't know that I'm picking him up in 10s, but in 12s and
Yeah.
15s, I think I'd take the gamble there.
I think I agree with that on Jarren Duran. 12s and 15s, yes. 10s, probably not. Maybe if there's a unique situation where you're dealing with some injuries or you're really desperate for speed, is about the only way I could think it. And it would have to be 5 outfielders as well. 3 outfielder, 10 teamers.
Yeah.
Not yet with Jarren Duran. We need to see what that playing time is going to look like. There is a spot, but are they going to give it to him? All right. It's time for Keeper Cut, pitcher edition. And we got some big name guys rostered pretty heavily at Yahoo and ESPN, or at least one of them in some instances. And we got to see if we're cutting. I mean, we'll talk about the different league formats where we might. And let's start with Jose Barrios. And this is a guy that I am really bummed about because it's just been so blah. Like it's a 4.13 ERA, which isn't killing you, but look at the 158 whip and the 18% strikeout rate. That it would be a career low. Well, his rookie season when he came up for 58 innings, he had a 17%. So it'd be the second lowest of his career at 18%. It's well far off of what he normally does. And yet Barrios is still at 97% at Yahoo, 98% at ESPN. He got beat up again yesterday. What are we doing with Jose Barrios? And if you're cutting him, where you at? Oh, by the way, that's not even updated. He's at 534 area. I figured that looked a little light. I guess our stats have not updated for the night yet. So pardon me on that. Yeah, he's at 534, 164 with the ERA and whip for Jose Barrios. So where are you cutting him?
Oh, I have a really hard time cutting a guy like Barrios.
I understand.
Just because the talent level is so good. He's throwing the fastball more, throwing the changeup less. And
0 Ks yesterday, if I can interject quickly, which means that 18% is lower now too.
Yeah.
0 Ks in 4 2/3.
It's almost like someone told him to try to emulate a little bit more of like what Robbie Ray did, which is, last year, which is, hey, stay in the zone, be more aggressive.
But he didn't need to do that.
He shouldn't be doing that because he's not Robbie Ray.
Yeah. Someone should tell Robbie Ray to redo that, by the way.
Yeah, because he's given up more zone contact than he ever has. His ground ball rate is the worst it's ever been. It's only like 28%.
Yeah, Barrios has the ball in the air a lot, which is uncharacteristic, like you say. Line drives are up a bit, fly balls up, homers, I believe, are up as well. Yeah, 1.5, and that's before yesterday is inputted because he did give up a homer yesterday. It's just rough right now. Let me ask you this. You have trouble cutting Barrios. I get it. You put a pretty big investment in him. I understand wanting to see it through a bit more. Are you benching him, though, at least?
I think he's moving into a not every start category right now. He also has had like kind of a rough schedule at the Yankees, at Boston twice.
I thought you were going to bring that up.
Yeah,
and it doesn't get any better. It's at the Yankees next week again.
I don't
Kikuchi's
know
had
that
the
I
Yankees like 4 times too. Like,
yeah,
Toronto's schedule's been,
Kikuchi's schedule's been even worse. But I think I'd probably sit him next week.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you said he's at the Yankees.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not starting
with his
him in
sweet new home run rate.
Yeah, I think I'm sitting him right now. I don't think I'm dropping him quite yet. I can understand 10 teamers wanting to though. I'm not ready to pull that trigger.
Yeah, I don't think I am ready yet either with Barrios. I got to go more than 5 starts. It's very frustrating. I think you're very much welcome to benching him. I think that makes a lot of sense there if you're not looking to take another beating, and you risk 7 shutout in Yankee Stadium. Like, he can do that. Like, Barrios has that kind of talent that if he's a little bit off and it gets back on track, then he puts up a gem like that and you miss it. You have to be open to missing that to avoid possibly another blasting in 3 to 4 innings as well. Let me ask you this. If you are cutting him in 10-teamer, are you doing so for Jesus Luzardo, who's 56% at ESPN?
No.
Tristan McKenzie, who's 63%.
That one's closer.
Merrill Kelly, who's 64%.
Kelly's been pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I think I would do that if I still don't want to drop him, but if I'm going to, if I'm making the decision, hey, I'm done with this. I'm in a 10-team league or an 8-team league, and I'm just done with this guy right now. I think, those two I would do.
What about Corey Kluber for Jose Barrios? Corey Kluber's just 40% at ESPN for some reason. He's been excellent.
Yes.
Would you try to get, since you said yes, you'd try to cut somebody else to get Kluber, bench Barrios. That's the real move that you'd want to do.
I think so.
I'm with that.
And especially in a 10 or 10 league, or 10-team league or an 8-team league, something like that. Like, there's just so much available in the red where I'm willing to ride this streak. Like, I don't think Kluber's going to last. I just think health-wise,
health is my only concern. The talent is locked, but the health.
I just don't know that he's going to be able to keep it up. But in a 10-team league, like you can drop him once he breaks down, like it's fine. So, I wouldn't do that in like a 12 or 15, but in a 10, I think that makes sense.
Yeah. So you can cut Barrios in certain situations depending on who's available, but look to cut somebody else. Put him on your reserve for now, and just ride it out a little bit, because it's one of those things where he might just be a tweak or two off. But that's the thing. When you're off just a little, it can have a cascading effect, and it can add, run and a half to your ERA, a couple homers here, some extra hits there, not enough strikeouts. But it doesn't necessarily mean he's that far off even with the 5.34 ERA for Barrios. Let's talk Charlie Morton. The 38-year-old, broke his leg last year in the playoffs. You might have to wonder if that's still having some lingering effects, because things have not been going well, and his command is just completely off. That's kind of what I'm seeing from watching a couple of his starts so far. Fastball command isn't there, and it's cascading toward everything else being off as well. The curveball's not getting the whiffs. The curveball itself hasn't been great. Velo's still there. It's only down a half tick from 95.5 last year to 95. That's okay. But then 16% strikeout, 12% walk, 7% swinging strike. This is a guy who hasn't been below 11% swinging strike rate since 2015 for Charlie Morton. And he has a 6.85 ERA and a 1.73 whip. What are you doing with ground Chuck, who's not getting the ball on the ground as much either?
I was just about to say, like, that's the big problem. He's got the highest fly ball rate of his career. And he's, being more aggressive than he has in his career. You have to wonder, like, just not having a full spring. I mean, not even having a full spring compared to other guys who didn't have a full spring. If he's just taking more time to kind of get into shape, and the Braves are just letting him do it at the major league level, when he probably should be on like a minor league rehab assignment.
Yeah, I think that makes sense for Morton. And one of the interesting things about his starts is they've followed an interesting pattern overall of horrendous start, good middle, and then like a mixed bag finish. Sometimes he finishes all right. Other times he gets back to the ugliness because he tires out. So there is that part in the middle where he plateaus and looks a bit more like Charlie Morton, but getting there is difficult. And then the finish usually isn't terribly strong. So that makes me think that like it's still there a bit, but it's definitely off right now.
I just traded for him.
Okay, what was that deal?
So this is my 3-sport dynasty league. It was a straight baseball trade. I traded away Eloy Jimenez and Mondesi.
Okay.
For Jose Ramirez and Charlie Morton. And this is on base percentage league
for one of the best hitters. Yeah, and that robs Mondesi's value quite a bit, even with the speed. Yeah, that both of them take a hit, and Ramirez's can go up.
Yeah, but I think right now on Morton, it's the time to buy. Like, I think he's too good of a pitcher to not bounce back here.
So that's going to answer the other question, that you're not cutting him then.
No, I don't think I'm cutting him yet. I can understand it. I can understand it in a 10-team league.
Who are you more apt to cut, Barrios or Morton?
Morton.
Okay.
Because of the age and health.
Yeah. For the same guys that I was talking about earlier, got to be somebody like that.
Yep.
Okay. I think that's where I'm at too. I'm not sure I can quite cut again, because watching him, you can see that it's there. Like, it's there in those middle innings more often than not, but then he loses it again. It's like, but it feels like he's just trying to figure it out. A little bit of a slow, not a little bit of a slow start. It's flat out slow start. It's been tough. He gets Milwaukee this weekend. If you have weekly league, you've already got him in because it was a 2-start. San Diego next week at home. What are you doing with that start for Morton?
I think I'm starting him against San Diego.
Yeah, because their offense hasn't been that great.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. That's not a team I'm scared of. I can understand people wanting to sit it out, but I'm much more stubborn than other people in that regard. Like, I just keep rolling with my guys. But I mean, I'm sure there are 10-team leagues where people went, "Hey, I'm going to start Barrios Morton," and feel pretty darn good.
Oh, for
in
sure.
terms of their rotation. So
for sure,
like, if you've got like both on your team in a 10-team league, you probably need to drop one. I'm probably dropping Morton.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm with that too. Yeah, I'm just gonna co-sign that. If I got both Barrios Morton, keep Barrios, cut Morton. The health is always a question, and if that is impacting him, and maybe he's just not right, maybe that explains the erraticness within start to start, inning to inning for Charlie Morton. So otherwise, deeper leagues, we're not cutting them. By the way, I should mention he was 90% at Yahoo and ESPN. Barrios 97% at Yahoo, 98% at ESPN. I focus on those two outlets because the bulk of where these guys are going to be cut is the shallower formats right now until we get to some of the guys a little bit later. Then we might start talking about cutting them in NFBC formats, 12s and 15s. But let's stick with the guys that are at the upper tier that if I'm cutting, it's going to be a pretty shallow league. Trevor Rogers is 89% at Yahoo, 82% at ESPN. He has a 6.14 ERA and a 150 whip, 150, that is, of course. 19% strikeout rate, 11% walk rate, just a 10% swinging strike rate, down 4 points from last year. Changeup just isn't there. And that's really having an impact on everything else from what I can tell. None of his pitches have been positive pitch value, but everything kind of comes off of that changeup. It makes the fastball more effective. His velo's there, but nothing else really is right now. Is Trevor Rogers somebody that you're looking to cut right now in shallower formats?
This is hard because I really like Trevor Rogers coming into the year, but he just hasn't looked like he did, last season. He's shown flashes, and the flashes make me want to stick. But hey, there's a reasonable chance someone in a 10-team league drafted Trevor Rogers, Barrios, and Charlie Morton.
If you are that poor person, please reach out to us.
Yeah, screenshot it.
We will find help for you.
Yeah. I mean, I want to try to keep him. And I know people are like, you want to keep everybody. We'll get to some names I don't want to keep.
Rank them. Rank those three real quick.
I think it's Barrios, Trevor Rogers, Morton to me.
Okay. I think I go Rogers, Barrios, Morton.
That's
very close.
Yeah.
So same situation here where you're cutting in a 10 and 8, possibly, but for the most part,
I'm still trying to keep. Like, I still believe in the talent. But yeah, you're right. The changeup has not looked as good as it did last year, which is a little bit scary. That being said, it's a great home ballpark. Who does he have next week? Do you know?
Let's see here with Trevor Rogers for Miami. He's got at San Diego this weekend, and then Milwaukee at home next week.
I think I'm starting him on both of those.
I am too. I'm not taking him out of the lineups. I do have him, and I don't intend to right now.
He's gotten really unlucky in the strand rate. Like, his strand rate is like 50% right now.
And 53, yeah. And a big part of it was that disgusting Philly game where things just kind of unraveled and gave up 7 earned and 1 2/3. He's gonna be working that off for a while. And he had 2 good outings after that at Washington, at Atlanta for Trevor Rogers, and then got busted up by Arizona of all teams. And I didn't get to watch that. I don't know if anything happened that that was, were they cheap hits or was he getting clobbered? I don't know. But Arizona, I know Arizona's playing pretty well. I don't want to just say, oh, Arizona, we expected them to be bad. You should always crush them, because they've actually played pretty well. They're around 500. They've been a sneak team, but it has not been their offense. It's because of their pitching that has been there. So I still am feeling pretty rough about Trevor Rogers getting busted up by Arizona. That one's tough to swallow.
He's on one of my mains, and that main is dead last in that league. So
they're second to last against lefties in WRC plus. So him giving up 5, you don't love that. So Trevor Rogers, we feel pretty similarly to Barrios and Morton. Morton's still the cut of the 3 between Justin and I. Let's go to Tyler Mahle, 76% at Yahoo, 80% at ESPN. So we've jumped down a level here, and look, the tough part coming in to the season and why I really started to fade Mahle was he's half a pitcher right now. I don't know. I don't know that I can be convinced to ignore his home road split when he's a 5.15 ERA at home for his career, 234 and 2/3 innings, because he has a home run problem and he plays in the Great American Small Park. Like it's plain as day.
He's only given up 1 home run this year, though.
No, I know, but I'm talking about why I didn't even get him.
Oh, okay.
Coming into the season, that's why I didn't even get him. Even last year, though, during the breakout, 563 at home, 230 on the road. To your point, though, he's only given up 1 homer. However, he has a 7.01 ERA now. It's actually worse. So is he like filling up the zone more often and just getting beaten there by hits and everything? Like what's going on here? Because he's been a disaster on the road. He's kept his normal 5-something at home, but now he's added an 8.25 ERA on the road. What the hell's wrong with Tyler Mahle, and where are you cutting him, if anywhere?
It's actually kind of the opposite problem. He's got his lowest zone percentage of his career. He's walking just too many guys.
Yeah, that's what it would be. To avoid the homers, he's scared of going in the zone.
Instead of saying like, "Hey, I'm just gonna beat you with my stuff."
Yeah,
me versus you. He's going. I'd rather put a man on, but the problem is he's not putting 1 man on. He's putting 2 or 3 men on, and then he's letting a cheap hit go through.
Yeah, then the next guy's getting a single or a double because he's giving up 10.5 hits. So that's a rough combo, 10.5 hits and a 12% walk rate.
This feels fixable.
It does.
And the stuff seems to be fine.
7.01 ERA, 171 whip, 440 Sierra, though.
Ooh, man. I like Mahle a lot, so I'm probably not dropping him.
I'm cutting it at 10 easily.
I think in a 10 you can make that. He's got a 171 whip. I mean, it's just I think in a 10 team you can probably let him go and just kind of keep an eye on him. Because the problem is once he does start becoming more aggressive and stop nibbling so much, he's going to give up home runs. In Great American Ballpark. So, I love Mahle, but I think it's okay to cut him in a 10.
I might pause on the cut though. He has Pittsburgh twice in a row
on
Sunday and then next week. I know. Right as I said that so convincingly, I'm like, wait a minute. He gets double.
However, if he doesn't have it figured out by the end of those 2 starts, you have to cut him.
Then he's
probably cut in a 15s.
Yeah. Okay. If he gets double Pittsburgh here and we don't see some real quality work, I'm definitely cutting in 12s then, and then I'm probably cutting in 15s at that point too. But I'm gonna ride it out for these last 2. We'll see what's going on. Here's hoping that Tyler Mahle can turn on. He's got 22% strikeout rate, but 11% swing strike rate is in line with last year. So he's right there with his strikeouts. Pittsburgh twice. Bring it home for Mahle. Get him back on track, please. German Marquez. Yahoo knows what they're doing. He's 46% there. The hell is this guy 77% at ESPN for? German Marquez is unusable. I would cut him in the main. No. I'm cutting him everywhere. There is no value to this guy right now. I do not care. Someone might pick him up, and because of the name value, you can have him and his 16% strikeout rate and his 8% swinging strike rate and his 2.1 homer 9, 6.92 ERA and 169 whip. I know that he'll fix some of those. Duh. Not enough for me though. I'm out on German Marquez. I'd have to be in to be out on him, I guess, because you couldn't have paid me to draft him though. I'm fully out.
I'm right there with you. I didn't draft him in any leagues. I have more shares of Antonio Senzatella than I do of German Marquez. And it's because, one, there's still some sort of price tag attached to him because of his potential. And this crazy idea in the fantasy industry, because it doesn't come from regular baseball industry, that he's going to get traded. He's not going to get traded. They cannot develop pitching.
Yep.
Yeah, they cannot develop pitching. They've got him on a team-friendly deal for like the next 3 or 4 seasons. He's not going anywhere. When are you going to feel comfortable starting him? He's had seasons where he's been electric on the road and awful at home. And then last year he was like fine at home and awful on the road. Like, I just don't want to deal with it at all. I really don't want to deal with it with most Rockies pitchers. I draft a few in a DC just to have extra arms that I can get, starters that I can get for cheap.
Like a Cal Freeland, Antonio Senzatella.
Yeah, I've got a couple of those guys that you get them that post, pick 500 in the DC and have a starter, that late. But yeah, you've said it a million times. Coors is undefeated. I'm not playing with that game.
Yeah, and German Marquez, again, credit to Yahoo. They're at 46%. They could even go lower, but ESPN at 77%. I don't know what folks are doing. They're like, what are you hanging on for? Especially because ESPN caters to shallower leagues. So we know that the likes of some of those guys I was naming earlier, like Merrill Kelly, Jesus Luzardo, Corey Kluber, these guys are available in a bunch of leagues. Your boy, Steven Matz, who we were talking about offline before we started, he has a little bit of an elevated ERA, but his underlying numbers are actually excellent. I'd rather have him than German Marquez 10 out of 10 times. I'll tell you what, even in a shallow league, I'd pick up Michael King, the mega reliever from the Yankees.
Absolutely.
Over German Marquez easily. Like, it's a slam freaking dunk.
Shout out to my co-manager, Shelly Verstrate, in the tag team league. She was on Michael King like weeks ago. She was
nice.
Like, hey, we should just pick him up. I like his skills. Like,
he's been excellent.
It's been great. Yeah.
Yeah. He might be this year's Brent Suter and get like 9-10 wins too.
I'd be happy with that.
All right. Next up, Kyle Hendricks. Now, listen, Kyle Hendricks haters, you don't get to claim that you were right like 10 years into his career because you didn't like him for those first amazing 7 years or whatever. But it did finally come to fruition. It started last year with a 4.77 ERA and a 1.35 WHIP. He's always been kind of living on the line, and I think things have finally caught up to him a bit. I know that the velo isn't down or anything. I don't know exactly what it is. It just seems like it's caught up to him, though. The fine margin that he lives on as a command and control finesse guy. Maybe it's the defense behind him. I don't know, because he doesn't have Javi Baez anymore. That could be a big part of it. But the BABIPs are up, and the hits are through the roof, and he's giving up more homers, which is something that he didn't usually used to do. But 1.5 last year, 1.8 this year for Kyle Hendricks, 5.64 ERA, 1.48 WHIP. You would have at least wanted a good WHIP out of him, but the walk rate has jumped to 9%. So that's making that WHIP go way up. What are you doing with Kyle Hendricks? He's 62% at Yahoo, 74% at ESPN.
I mean, I think you have to drop. I have a theory. That he has been really, really bad. A 5.37 ERA since June 21st of last year.
What could that have been?
So, yeah, I think
that's when the crackdown started for those.
Yeah,
they might not know that date.
I think especially a guy like him that relies on such elite command and control in order to work with stuff that isn't great necessarily. Not having that sticky stuff really, really affects him. And I don't think it's going to get better. I mean, you just look what happened to Bumgarner. They're clearly checking very thoroughly.
That was so ridiculous.
Oh my God. Like has MLB said anything about it? Because
not that I've seen.
I saw the post-game interview with Bumgarner, and he's like, you saw the video.
Yeah.
Like,
I almost never agree with his rage fests. I fully stand with him. That was the creepiest, weirdest thing ever. Dude was looking for a fight. I don't know why. Madison Bumgarner would probably beat his ass.
Right?
But so I don't know why he's looking for that fight, but he was, and that was absolutely.
Bumgarner had been barking at the home plate umpire during that inning, and so you gotta wonder if it's like.
That's what he said, that he was like sticking up for the rookie umpire.
Oh, so that's what
he said, but like, that's not how you do it, you freaking weirdo.
Yeah, you just say something. You don't just stare at the dude.
Yeah, what are you doing? Like, that was just so goofy. What an absolute dweeb. Anyway, Kyle Hendricks, I think that makes some sense. Like, I don't think it's a conspiracy theory to suggest that he could have been, the sticky stuff that he was using was really kind of getting him over the edge there, because he does live on such a thin margin, and now that's taken away. and it just kind of creates this extra bit of volatility. And I think he's a cut everywhere. I'm
Yeah.
open to cutting him in like 15 teamers right now. I'd cut him in the main if the right guy was out there, and there's been enough guys throughout the season so far that I cut. Now he does have a 2-step coming up next week at San Diego, at Arizona.
Nope.
I don't feel that good about that. And when you don't feel good about somebody for a 2-step, I think that's your indication to cut
I
somebody.
would feel fine about that if we were talking about just a random average MLB pitcher, which tells me if I don't feel good about that for Kyle Hendricks,
that he's not bad.
Like, I would start that for Kyle Gibson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been starting Kyle Gibson pretty much everywhere, by the way.
You know, I mean,
you should have drafted him in the main.
I hate you so much. so much. And that main is good. Like that main that I'm in with you, like the team is good. I don't have Kyle Gibson.
That'd be nice. I think Kyle Gibson would probably add a hand. You'd be in like 3rd or 4th. I think you can get a nice handful of points because you're in the mix right now. I don't think I'm too far out, but I'm in 11th right now. I just keep looking, and what comforts me is that Dave Potts is below me, and I'm like, that's you know, if he's still that low, I'm not too worried.
It's where like you should. I was talking about this on the Friends of Fantasy Benefits podcast on Monday. Like you shouldn't freak out if you're like in the bottom, but you should be examining why you're in the bottom.
Correct. Like, don't fall too far behind in things.
Yeah.
Are there things that you are, you know, like, for example, let's just say you were last in average and you had like a 213 average and the next lowest one was like 222. You need to maybe start looking like, whoa.
For me, it's not the ratio categories I'm not worried about because those fluctuate so much.
They do. I think if you have big counting categories, you're right. Even more so.
That's if like I'm really far behind in, you know, home runs or stolen bases, or even strikeouts or saves.
Scary.
Then I start going, okay, I need to make some adjustments on my team right now. But like batting average, ERA, WHIP, like those. They move so much, especially this early. Like I'm just not worried about that.
Yeah, definitely. You should be mindful of the standings right now, but you do not need to look at them every day and be like, "Oh my God, I'm in so much."
Or every 30 minutes, like I do.
Correct. Also not a great idea for your sanity. Ranger Suarez. I believe this show liked him a good bit coming into the season. What? You liked him, right?
I did. I loved him.
Yeah, we were both fans. 67% at Yahoo, 70% at ESPN. It has not been all that good. The detractors, maybe they got this one right. 4.63 ERA, 163 WHIP. I am definitely bummed by the big dip in strikeouts, and I thought, you know, I never thought obviously that he was going to be a 1.36 ERA. I'm like, give me 3.56. I'll take that. And he's not that far off at a 4.63. Like he can get down to the mid 3s, but some of the dominance that I thought his stuff had that could carry for Ranger Suarez has not carried. He has a 7% swinging strike rate. And you know what? Maybe Nick Pollock was right. Blind squirrel finds an acorn. No, I'm just kidding. But he was not a fan, and it's not looking great so far. So what are you doing with Ranger Suarez right now with a start against the Mets this weekend and then a trip to the Dodgers next week? Sweet.
That's a brutal. I think you could probably drop him for that stretch. I do want to see how he does. And I definitely don't want to start him if I'm going to hold on to him like in deeper formats. But those are two brutal. I mean, the Mets have been the best team in baseball. Dodgers look like they should be the best team in baseball.
Yeah.
I think I'm dropping him in 10s and 12s, and then just kind of keeping an eye out. I still believe in the talent.
I'm not fully out.
He's gotten pretty unlucky.
It's
the home run rate is like weird to me. Like I don't understand why he's given up so many home runs.
That has been a problem for Ranger Suarez. He's given up and 2 in his last outing to Texas, 1 against Colorado, 1 against Miami. That's the thing. 4 homers right now is a 1.54 ERA or 1.54 homer 9 in 23 and a third innings, right? Like the margins are just still pretty small overall, even through 5 starts. And he had a very short start his first outing too, 2.2 innings. I think he had no spring training or very
Yeah, because
limited spring training.
he had
That's
visa
right.
issues.
That's right.
And so you have to wonder if like that's affecting him a little bit. But
I do wish there were more swings and misses. That's the one thing with Ranger Suarez that I am a little bit concerned about with
yeah,
regards to this early struggle. But I still kind of want to hang in deeper formats as well. I totally get cutting in 10s and 12s right now. He's just not somebody that you have to hang on to. But in 15s, I'm gonna ride it out. He's gonna get on the bench this weekend, or going into next week with that Dodgers start. But I'm going to give it these two and kind of see where it's at. If I'm not really seeing any improvement from Ranger Suarez, then I'm cutting him in 15 teamers after this weekend. And if I need the cut this weekend, I could even cut him in the main. If that's the only cut I have and I need something, it's there because he has the Dodgers, and I don't know that he's necessarily going to have some great outing that means I won't be able to get him back the next week at a cheap price. So I'm
yeah.
open
Honestly,
in all
I
formats.
think he's a cut in all formats.
Yeah.
And then we'll see how he does. And because he's like you said, he's going up against the Mets and the Dodgers. Like I don't expect him to just beast out. If he does, then you're gonna have to pay to get him back. But I don't see it happening. So I think I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at. Another handful of starts like this. I'm gonna go more than 23 innings before I take a fat L, but I like them.
I'm ready. I'm ready to take that L.
You're taking it right now?
I think I'm okay taking it. Like there's not much in the profile that he has gotten unlucky, but he's also just
again no whiffs.
The changeup is not look good. He's not getting swings and misses. Like this is not, what does Nick call him, a Toby?
Yeah, I don't even know if he's a Toby right now. Nick might not even have him as a Toby.
I don't know all the Nick Pollock acronyms. So.
To know the entire Nick Pollock dictionary,
I'm surprised he knows them all. It's pretty amazing. Like,
I'm sure he's forgotten some that are like lightly used. Someone brings it up and he's like, "Wait, what was that again?"
He writes with his own glossary next to him.
Yeah, he's like,
"What is this again?"
I have to remember this. He's got amazing mnemonic devices though. Some of them are hilarious. Others I'd never get at all. He used to call Jeff Samardzija loose lips. Never understood that ever. I don't even, we're not going to get into it. Zach Plesac, 52% at Yahoo, 68% at ESPN. This is more on the RotoWire Online Championship, NFBC main event tip here, because in shallow leagues, I don't understand why he's 52 at Yahoo, 68 at ESPN. Those should be much lower. Easy cut there. But what about the deeper formats where an innings eater like this does have some value, especially in the main, but I don't know that this specific guy does, with a 14% strikeout rate, 4.44 ERA, 141 WHIP. Is that bad? That's horrendous. 9% swinging strike rate says it's not really going up either. Are you keeping Zach Plesac? Let's start with the RotoWire Online Championship 12-teamer.
No, I don't think I am. There's nothing in this profile that makes me think it's going to get better anytime soon.
He is who he is. Like, this is exactly who he is, the guy who's pitching right now. So, main event then, 15 teams. He has a two-step next week at the White Sox at Minnesota. I'm terrified of that.
Yeah.
Which means I can't keep him.
No, he I don't know that, like, not only is he cuttable, like, I don't think he should be rostered in.
Yeah, and again, my litmus test is if I cannot start them in a two-step, that's almost definitely a cut. That's at least the first pass through that I do on a player to determine whether or not I want to cut them. And I don't believe in him here, so I do want to cut him. And he gone.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially if you don't want to start someone on a two-step in the AL Central, like that's a really bad sign. Like, White Sox won't have, Eloy or Vaughn.
Yeah, they're a bit muted,
but
they might not even have Moncada yet.
I think the only place I'd be even considering it is like a 15-team. The only mixed league, obviously in AL only, you're just stuck with them. But
you got to ride it out.
A 15-team quality start league, because he tend to go deeper into games. It's so hard. I'm in a quality start league, and it's insanely awful. Like,
the league leader has 9 or something.
It's one of those league. It's a head-to-head categories, and it's like like I have like a really good pitching staff, or what should be a really good pitching staff in the league, and I got one quality start last week.
So frustrating.
Like I
That
lost
is
because the guy
so
got
maddening,
2 quality
dude.
starts. Like F
That's
that. Like
like, what is
it's
that?
at this point there's no reason to.
Remember, we thought quality starts would be the fix for wins,
Uh-huh.
and they're just very much not.
Yeah.
They're just like, now you need to do like
The nice
both.
thing about like a site like Fantrax is you can like set what a quality start is.
That's cool. What would you do? Would you do 5 innings, 2 runs?
Yeah, I think I would. I think
Because that's a
right.
better ERA actually. And listen, I've never been like 6-3 is a 4.50 ERA. There's nothing quality about that. It's like, yes, it is. If you're 6-3, like you've kept your team in the game, that is very much a quality start. People get hung up on it 4.50 ERA and they think that's terrible. It's really not. And that should tell you, because 6 innings, 3 runs is not bad. It's literally not bad. You get paid $15 million a year if you could do that every time out, if not more. But yeah, I think 5 and 2.
5 and 2 makes a lot of sense.
Definitely be down with. And then that way, you got to get.
There's just so few pitchers who go 6 regularly.
It's wild. It's wild. Yeah. And I don't know that I really like it that much, but it is where we're at right now. And there's pluses and minuses. All right, last guy here before we get out. Coming off a good start, but as you mentioned, again, we talked about this offline about Jose Urquidy. Yes, it's a good start, 6 innings of scoreless ball, but only 3 punchies. So he's 69% at Yahoo, nice, 54% at ESPN. Let me see what his updated numbers are, because he did pitch yesterday. So he got his ERA down to 4.56 with a 136 whip. And I think that last number is the one that's really got me messed up, is that his whip isn't even good. That's the one thing that I would be saying is the reliable aspect of Urquidy, but he's allowed way too many hits. And even yesterday, 6 hits in 6 innings, he's still allowing a hit per inning or more. That's my problem right now, is that he's just been too hittable. And it's because he doesn't get a lot of whiffs. He's down to a 15% strikeout rate. And it might be a little bit lower after yesterday even. Jose Urquidy, what are you doing with him?
I mean, I was not a fan of his previous to this. I know you and Eno have been huge proponents of him.
Correct.
So setting that aside and just looking at what he's done this season, he's got like an 88% zone contact percentage right now. He is just getting hit in the zone, which makes me really scared, because the home run rate was like 1.8 coming into last night. I did not give up a home run last night, so it's going to drop. But once baseball does whatever they're going to do with the baseballs to make more home runs, I'm really worried about a guy like Urquidy, who's historically got a home run issue and is giving up 88% zone contact. Yeah, I think he's a cut, especially in 10s and 12s.
Yeah.
I don't know that you want to cut him in a 15.
I wouldn't yet. I'm a
very
big
careful of who I'd start him against.
He goes to Minnesota next week.
No.
Who might be without Carlos Correa with a broken finger.
Yeah, but they might be with Royce Lewis.
Ooh.
That was the rumor. It was just a rumor. It was not any reputable sources last night.
He is now the top searched minor league player on our site.
I bet he is.
He has a 164 WRC plus, 3 homers, 8 steals, 16% walk rate, 18% strikeout rate. He's dominating AAA.
Yeah, I think he's coming up.
Wow. Yeah,
this
former
is,
number
this
1
is
overall,
a week of Fabapalooza.
I think it's about to be, because Miranda and Melendez weren't available in most leagues. So they're going to be part of it because they got called up late. So, yeah.
And Yepes got called up.
Yes. That's a good call. I forgot about Yepes too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then if Lewis gets up before Sunday, and if Duran just got called up today, if we have anybody else that kind of trickles up, it could be the Fabapalooza week. And
who's your favorite out of the group?
Probably Miranda. Playing time and impact is definitely there. I like Yepes a lot. Fell in love with him at the fall league. I still don't know where he plays though. Yeah, unless they get rid of that DH duo that they have with Pujols and Dickerson, there's still no playing time for him. They're not taking Carlson out. I don't think they're sending Carlson down. If they do, then okay, I'll totally pivot on.
But even
Yepes.
if they send Carlson down, what does that do?
He could play the outfield. That's where he started. He started in right. He would play the outfield. It would be for him.
Yeah,
It would be for
so bad.
Yepes.
Be so bad defensively.
Yeah, I mean they got two great guys
Yeah,
covering
that's
him.
true. Yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah.
I mean, I think they would just want the bat in there, but really where he should be is DH. He DH'd yesterday on the 5th, and they should probably designate Dickerson. They can keep Pujols, I guess, if they want. It'd be so much better if Yepes was a lefty because then he could be the Dickerson part and Pujols could still play against lefties, but they're both righties. That's the problem as far as like creating a platoon. So I like Yepes a ton. I just still don't see where the playing time is. And then we'll see what happens with Lewis. And then, like I said, Duran, if they commit to playing him over Badu, then he's number 2 to Miranda. Very, very close there. Well, hang on. Let me reassess. I think I'll go Miranda, Melendez, Duran. Because Melendez as a catcher, but he was already gone in our league. Somebody had him.
Oh, is he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think Govier drafted him.
I think so. Where did Govier? Govier, you son of a gun. Let me see. No, Herb Ero has him. Herb Ero.
He's a good player too.
So. Yeah, absolutely. He's the one who put the outlay for Bender, though. He's probably regretting that a little bit.
That hurts.
The big 322. We'll see what happens with Dylan Floro, who could be part of Fabapalooza too. If he gets called up, gets a save on Saturday and Sunday or something, the leagues where he was cut because people didn't want to wait anymore, could be time to go ahead and get him.
My patience may have paid off.
It might be because Bender looking broke. Anthony broke. I called him the other day, and because that was tough against my boy Pavin Smith. Baby, what's up? Too bad I cut him in the main. Don't tell anybody.
Ouch.
That's all right. I still got him in other leagues, but I am a little bit bummed about that. I just didn't need the outfielder though, and he was just I know he's not like a game-changing profile. It's more of like a glue guy profile. And so I was willing to cut him, and I knew what I was doing when I did it. I'm not too worried about it. But anyway, I got to get going. I got something here at 9. That's why we did this early. So I appreciate you getting up super early because you got some meetings later. So
yeah,
we will be talking in a few hours. Scherzer, Gibson. I'm really excited for that. Again, if you're part of the Discord in any capacity, just sign up for any tier. Get into the Discord. Come through at 6 o'clock. If you're new to Discord, we'll help you through it to figure out how to get in there. It's just going to be in the voice channel. You'll come in. I'll be streaming the game, and we'll be there for about 3 hours.
You'll get to see my actual work office because that's where I'm going to be working from.
You're going to be at work.
Yeah, so
I guess because that's at 4 your time.
Be wearing a nice shirt and
fancy.
Even though there's nobody else in my office. I could probably go in there in shorts and like sandals,
but you still respect the role. I appreciate that. All right, well that's gonna do it for episode 1048. Are you doing anything with Jason this weekend?
I would like to. It's been a few weeks, but I got really sick and so.
Well, it's Mother's Day though too.
Yeah,
neither of you are mothers, so maybe you can figure it out.
I'm sure my wife wouldn't mind. I don't know. I'll find out.
Maybe she wants the time away. That would be her Mother's Day gift, is you to leave her alone.
That one year I did do that. I was like, just leave.
Just go do
whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever you want. All right, Justin, I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.
Take it easy.